Rinaldi. Yeah, Momita, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Start. So we finished up to update trigger, right? So we'll start with just a second. Okay, now we'll take one example of instead of trigger. So let's see what is instead of trigger. So you know that instead of trigger means it's a trigger which is executed before the operation can take place. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, so just take a snip of this. So create an instead of trigger on incident table for delete operations such that whenever we delete an incident, it checks whether it is closed or not. If not closed, it should not allow to delete the incident. So it makes sense. So when you try to delete an incident, it should not delete unless the incident is closed. So please take a snip of it. So before actually it can execute the delete operation, it will check whether that incident is closed or not. Closed means there should be some value on the close date. If it is null, that means the incident is still open and it is not going to so we should not allow it to delete. Getting Rinaldi, Sultan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Momita, screen. Have you taken the snip? So let's.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see how to write this trigger. So this is a trigger. So we have to use the keyword instead of. See, there's a keyword called instead of. So that we need to use. And over here, we take it from the that close date and incident number we are taking from the deleted table, because see, even though you have not deleted, remember again I am repeating this, instead of trigger is fired before the delete operation. So when you try to delete any record in this table, incident table, this trigger is going to fire. But what you are trying to delete, that intention is known by the trigger, so that will be there in the deleted table. So it is going to take those values from the deleted table and check whether the seeded is not null. So if the seeded is not null, then only it is going to delete it. So it will execute this delete command, delete from incident, where inc number equal to this, and it will say record deleted successfully. Otherwise, it will give you the message record not deleted. Please close the incident first. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please take a snip. And Rinaldi, you can share your screen. Yeah, so your incident table, can you add one more table in the one more row in the table, because these will delete, right? Because you add one more with a null value in the close date. Put null value in the close date. Actually, null means it should be null, null, without quote. Null means not empty, means it should be null without quote. Yeah. Yeah, now try to delete that. See what it says, record not deleted. Please close the incident first, right? It's not deleting that record. But try to delete any other record, it will delete. It is affected, right? Getting? Is this clear? Rinaldi,
1 second, sir.
understood? Yeah, yeah. Momita and Sultan, what about you guys? Done?
Yes, Sultan.
I'm testing it out, sir, on my side.
Momita, are you done?
Yes,
Is working for you?
yes.
Great.
Done, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So Okay, so with that, all the main topics are done actually. Now we have some miscellaneous topics also, which take like, let's see, what is a cursor? Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, let's see, what do you mean by cursor? Okay, cursor is a memory object to capture the query output. So normally what happens when you fire a query, the query output is coming on the screen. So what cursor does is it will collect that output. Whatever query output is coming, it is going to collect it and then it is going to process it. So it is a very favorite mechanism for a programmer. A programmer wants to, collect the uh, output of a query and then wants to process it. Are you getting it, guys? So using programming statements, it will do the job. So we have seen one
Okay.
stored procedure which is returning a value and we further processed it, like number of incidents closed. So we rated it as average or excellent. So we know that. So that was only a single value, but cursor is something which can capture the whole query output and then it is returned to the programmer. The programmer can actually work on those output and take some actions or produce some more results, better results. So that is the job of cursor. Okay, so I think you have taken the steps. So let's go to the next slide. So I'll just explain you a little bit about that. So when the output is collected, it is coming like this. Like for example, this is the DB cursor. This is some explanation. Now for this, I'm just take a snip of this, but I'm sharing some document on the group now. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, now sending some notes. Yeah, so I've shared some notes on the group. Okay, so from that I'm going to open the example of a cursor. So what we are doing is we are doing one example. I'm just taking an example. We are not going to actually execute it. If you want, you can try it later. So what this example does is it is going to uh, the query the database to get all the user defined databases. You know that there are some databases which are system defined. So which are the system defined databases? Like when you install SQL Server, some system defined databases are there, right? Which are those databases which are system defined? Yes, anybody knows? So there's
I
a
just checked it, so it's master model MSDB and TempDB. Is this
correct,
the one?
correct. Yes, yes. So these are system defined, but we want user defined, the databases which you have created. So we query to get the databases which we have defined, and then we take backup of all of that. So using cursor, we capture that output and then we write a script to process one record and take backup. So in this presentation here, you can see there's a cursor called DB cursor. You see this DB cursor is the name of the cursor. So it has captured the records of all the user defined databases. Whatever databases we have created, those databases have been captured in this cursor. So the it is captured like a stack of bread. It's like stack of bread, one above another like this. Getting? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So it is a stack of bread. Then what you do is there's a cursor pointer which is pointing to the top record, and you give a fetch command. When you give a fetch command, one piece of bread, will come on a plate. This plate is at the rate name, a user defined variable. So you will bring you'll fetch one record from the cursor, process it. It's just like from a stack of bread, you are removing one piece of bread, putting in the plate, and then you can process it. So as you do this, this cursor pointer will just go down and down and down like this. So when you fetch the first record, then the cursor pointer points to the next record. You fetch that, then points to next, then fetch that next like that. So it will keep on going down. So as you're fetching the records, it's going down. Okay. And it is coming in the plate which you can consume. So at one point of time, all the records will be processed. So how do we know that all records are processed? So for that, there is one system defined variable called at fetch status. So if as long as it is returning a zero value, it means the cursor is having some data. But the moment it returns a non-zero value, it means the cursor is empty now. There's nothing in that. Okay. So I don't know how much you have understood. So to summarize, so can anybody tell me what is a cursor? What is the actual job of cursor? Momita, can you tell me what is actually cursor means? What it does and what is cursor?
It fetches one by one record.
Okay. Rinaldi, you tell me what is a cursor? What have you understood? What is a cursor actually?
Data will be stored. Memory object in database where it will store the query.
The output of the query, it will be stored in the cursor. The output of the query will be stored in the cursor. Okay. Okay, Sultan, what do you do with that cursor? What is the benefit of cursor, using cursor?
I believe you will be able to call it again like quickly or something. I'm not really understanding the cursor, so if I be very honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm initiating this discussion. It is capturing the output and then you can process that output. You can do something with that output. Otherwise, whatever query you give, the output is coming on the screen, right? But now what we do
Mhm.
is we process it. We capture the output and then we process the output. That is the whole idea about cursor. Okay.
So when you say process the output, for example, if I'm running a query like select star from an incident table,
Hmm.
it gives me an output of all the table, all the columns and rows.
Correct.
After that, what we are doing with that exactly? As in when you say process, is it creating a table where it is going to store that whole
Yeah, it can go through the
result?
incidents. It can check like which incidents are very old, or it may
Hmm.
delete those. It may record send some incidents to some other table, major incidents. So it can process whatever processing we want, it will do, right? Through the programmers can process that information because it
Okay.
is come in the cursor object. Okay.
Okay. So for an instance, okay,
Hmm.
I'm running that query which I gave you first,
Hmm.
and I can save it in cursor with a different name, and
Hmm.
then I can call it again. Is that the thing?
No, I can process it.
Uh,
Like in this case, the example which
mhm,
I've shared with you, here we are going to give a query, and this query will
mhm.
return all the user-defined databases names. Those
Okay.
names will store in a cursor, and then we'll
Mhm.
fetch one record from the cursor and take backup of the database.
Okay. Is there a way we can do an hands-on on this?
Yeah,
An
yeah,
example?
I will do little bit on this, but I'm
Okay.
just preparing the ground because directly you will not understand. Okay,
Okay, sir.
all right. Okay, so this much is clear. Momita, you want to say something about cursor? What have you understood? Momita, can you hear me? Momita, am I audible to you? I think. Okay, so let's see. I'll just drop a message to. Okay, let me. I have opened that cursor document, the example document. Let me show you that. Yeah. So do you see here? She. Okay, Sultan, what you can do is, I want you to run this query on your system. Only this much. Can you do that and share the screen?
Yes, sir. 1 moment.
Don't say star, star. Okay, star will do. Okay, no problem. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
Let's see. No problem. No problem. Yeah.
This database, was it that? Databases. Okay. Name not an. MyDB. Okay. So, so it returns the DB I created, but
Hmm.
that's the user defined DB, right? Not the sys DB. Or is it also included in the sys DB?
Yeah, user defined DBs. Now you have created those DBs, right? User
Correct.
defined means the DBs that you have created. It is going to list that.
Yeah, so this is the one I created. So
Correct.
will it be again under the same table, like the master
Under the,
DBO.sys databases?
yeah. It is a,
It
system maintained table which contains all the DBs. So we are
contains
interested
all the
in,
DBs. Okay.
yeah, DBs information. Whatever databases you have created, its information is there in that.
Okay.
Okay. Momita, are you there? The class? Or I think she's not responding only. I don't know what is the issue. Okay, so but we just want the name attribute from that. So instead of star, just say name. Select name from. You have only one DB, right? So that's why it's just showing you one user-defined DB. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you had like in a production environment, there'll be several DBs, not just one DBs. There may be hundreds of DBs like that. Okay.
Right, sir.
Getting?
Yes, sir.
Rinaldi, how many DBs you have? User-defined DBs? Rinaldi? Rinaldi, are you there?
Sir.
Yeah, how many DBs you have?
One.
अच्छा only one. सब लोग एक एक बना के बैठे.
इस पे स्टार्ट किया तभी डाला था.
ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. So is this clear now? But now suppose this is coming on the screen, right? But we can capture this output in a cursor. दो तीन DBs और बना दो ना फटाफट चलो. Can you make some create database my DB1, DB2 ऐसे बनाओ चलो. Sultan, do that. Just make 2-3 databases like this quickly. Execute it. DB3, DB4 बनाओ क्या उसको ही execute it. Now that run that query, see how many you get. It will show all the user defined DBs there. दिख रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So this is a list, right? So, but this list is coming on the screen, right? But we'll capture this in a cursor now.
Okay.
So what you do is just वो query को नीचे copy paste करो. हाँ उसके ऊपर लिखो create DB cursor for DB जो देखो डॉक्यूमेंट में देखो क्या लिखा है वैसे डालो. We'll create one cursor and इसका आउटपुट फिर उस पर कैप्चर हो जाएगा.
So
Let's see the document.
demo document. No, I didn't capture वो अपना जो query था.
वर्ड फाइल भेजा ना मैंने आपको. ठीक है चलो मैं बोलता हूँ आप वैसा लिखिए. हाँ so you write now create. Just let me check what is the name there. हाँ db underscore cursor small में.
Is it correct?
So not create, sorry, declare. Beg your pardon. Declare space db underscore declare space db underscore cursor.
Declare db underscore. Declare cursor space db
नहीं
underscore.
नहीं
No.
declare.
Okay.
Declare space db underscore cursor.
db underscore
Cursor. That is the name of the cursor. Then space.
Okay.
Then cursor for.
Okay.
So when you do this, what will happen? Now भी execute करो तो क्या हो जाएगा? एक cursor create होगा by the name db cursor. इसका output उसमें see the cursor got created, but do you see any output on the screen?
No.
No.
Just,
Why? Because it got captured there.
Okay.
इसका output वो cursor में capture हो गया. Getting?
Yes, sir.
So it is like a slice of breads, you know, stacked one above another. So that thing now we can process. That's
Okay.
what the programmer does. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll share my screen. It's clear, Rinaldi. It's clear to you also, Rinaldi. Rinaldi, are you there? I'm audible, na, properly?
Yes, sir.
Clear,
Rinaldi,
sir.
yeah, you can hear it.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's a
Momita.
problem with my earphones.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, now I'll share my screen. Just a second. Now let's understand that example. Okay, so the purpose of this example is to take backup of all user defined databases. Now we do not know how many databases are there in our server, right? So what it will do is, I'm explaining from here. See, this cursor is declared. So what has happened? All the names are captured in the DB cursor. Just now we saw how it is happening, correct? Yeah, Sultan?
Yes, sir.
Then what we do is we say open DB cursor. So that cursor will be opened. So that is open DB cursor. It's just like opening a breadka packet. Okay. Then you say fetch next from DB cursor into @name. So when you do this fetch command, so the first name from the cursor, what was the first name in your case? It was my DB, right? That gets fetched and gets stored in @name. Okay, variable. Clear now? Yeah. जैसे एक एक ब्रेड का पीस आप फेच करते हो ना निकाल के और प्लेट में रखते हो कि नहीं रखते कि सीधा खाते हो you take one place bread, you put in the plate and then you eat, right?
And we
Please.
can do it all at once also, right?
I know
I'll just fetch next and then.
no, one thing at a time. एक bread piece एक at a time खाओ ना, एक साथ मत खाओ सब, right? So
Okay,
if so fetch the first record, put it in name, then we check is the status 0. If the fetch status is 0, that means it was successful. Okay. So this is a loop. प्रोग्रामिंग में की भाषा में इसको लूप बोलेंगे, ये लूप है. तो प्रोग्रामिंग की भाषा में इसको लूप कहेंगे हम. Okay. So while fetch status equal to 0, begin. Loop means repetition of statements. So status 0 है, शुरू में 0 ही रहेगा क्योंकि उसको मिला. Then we create a path. We set a path where we want to take backup. तो एक फाइल नेम हम बना रहे हैं कि पाथ हमने ऊपर सेट किया हुआ है. देखिए पाथ यहाँ पर सेट किया है कि C ड्राइव बैकअप, यहाँ पर हमको बैकअप लेना है. Then name is something which we got from the cursor. Then underscore file date भी हमने यहाँ पर कैलकुलेट किया है get date से. Then dot back. So this is the name of the file we have created, and then we give a command backup database add name to disk equal to this file name. तो आपका जो ये particular database है, it will get backed up. Then we say fetch next from DB cursor into name. Then you fetch a next record like that. So when you fetch it again, it will go up and check what is the fetch status. Fetch status is still 0. So again it comes inside, again it will create a new name, it will do the backup and again fetch the next record. So this loop will keep on repeating until this fetch status become non-zero. When fetch status become non-zero, that means all the records are processed. Okay, you have not done any programming before, na, Sultan and Rinaldi? Do you know what are loops in programming?
Yes, sir.
मालूम है?
No, sir.
हाँ, पता है, मेरे को पता है.
So loops is like this repetition of statements. तो ये repeat हुआ है. कब तक repeat होगा? जब तक कि fetch status non-zero नहीं हो जाता है. So while fetch status 0, it will keep on fetching the record from the cursor. It will construct a file name, take the backup, then fetch the next record. So it will keep on repeating. So after the loop is done, then it goes out. It will close the DB cursor. जिससे सारे bread pieces अपने खत्म कर दिए अभी सब process हो गए. So you will close that packet and deallocate, means you will throw it in the dustbin. So same thing is happening. So we have to close the cursor, deallocate, so that the memory which was used for that cursor is destroyed now. So we have done our task. So we destroy it. Is this clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आया कैसे चल रहा है कर्सर अभी? सुल्तान, clear?
So they'll have to perform like
Sorry? Perform
मेरे को
करके
शायद ये
देखना पड़ेगा.
test. हाँ सर, मैं ट्राई करता हूँ.
ठीक है, करिए इसको. जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट करो चाहिए तो. कॉपी पेस्ट करना चाहते हो कि आप लिखना चाहते हो पूरा? दिस इज
command from open till close and deallocate. वहाँ तक है, right? Open DB cursor से लेके.
नहीं पूरा. Actually it start from here. You're declaring some variables like @name, path, file name, file date. Then you're setting the path कि हमारा backup कहाँ पर होना चाहिए. The backup path also have set. And then we set the file date कि file date आपकी कौन सी होगी, उसका फॉर्मेट हमने सेट किया. We have converted that get date to a string format. This 112 is some style, some kind of style, and then we start declaring the cursor. We capture the output into this, and then we open the cursor.
So we have already completed this thing now. The declare DB cursor for select that statement. Select name from master DB. So that's already done. So we should go with the other part of it, right?
Yeah, you can do the other part of it, and then you can actually. You want to do it now? You can do it, no problem. करना है अभी, execute करके देखना है आपको.
Yeah, in case if we have something else also to discuss today.
Hey, normally I just take the example as a demonstration, but since you are interested, you can try it out now, no problem. So cursor is a very important tool for the programmers, for the SQL developers. They use it extensively to do certain tasks. Like this cursor is used for taking backup of all the databases, right? What I will suggest is just you close that cursor, deallocate the memory, and just copy paste this program. You have understood now? Everything is clear or not? Which part is not clear?
I'm clear on that, sir. I just want to try it out.
So share your screen. I'll tell you what to do. Share your screen. चलेगा. आपका कर्सर तो क्रिएट हो गया, राइट? So you can do the other part, declaration part. You can try it out, no problem. शुरू से करना चाहते तो शुरू से करो. उसको आप क्लोज कर दो. पहले का कर्सर जो बना है ना, ओपन डीबी कर्सर, यू कैन जस्ट से क्लोज एंड डीएलोकेट. वो कमांड रन कर दो तो cursor मर जाएगा. Close DB cursor and then deallocate DB cursor. So that memory which was associated with that will be destroyed. Now you can write the whole program. इसमें C drive में backup folder है आपका C drive में because it is going to take the backup at path which is defined is that no, or you can define another path जहाँ आपको backup चाहिए. C drive में है क्या कोई folder आपका? C drive में जाके you create one folder called backup, so it will take backup of all the DBs over here. No, don't write so much, just say backup. फिर इतना पूरा लिखना पड़ेगा, space मत दो, छोटा ही नाम दो.
So first I execute this, right? This
No,
declaration.
no,
No?
you can execute everything at once. It's a
All
whole,
at once.
it's a whole program, no?
Okay.
So cursors are extensively used actually in programming stored procedures and all.
Okay. So can you help me with this select file date thing? This line.
Yeah,
What is it
you have
doing?
it is get date is today's date, right?
Correct.
So we want, like, when it will create a backup, we want it to put today's date in that backup file name, so that we know when was the backup taken. So that's why we are creating a variable. So get date we are converting into character. Get date is a date format, right? We convert into
Correct.
character. Varchar 20 and 112 is some sort of style. Date ka style hai. Okay, so convert is
Okay.
a function which converts this one data type to another data type, and that 112 is a style of that.
Okay. So it's
Can
from
be
it's converting varchar to date get date and to a style of 112.
correct. That's right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Rinaldi, are you understanding? Mobita is not audible. I think I don't know what happened to her. So here what it is doing, it's creating a file, it's setting the file name, right? How we want the file name to be when we take a backup, okay? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So we keep fetching the data like this. So it's a loop. It will keep on going till we have data in the cursor. Like this, in your case, there are 5 databases, right? So this loop will execute 5 times. Because each time it
Yes, sir.
fetches the record, it will check whether it is valid or not. Whether it, so by looking at the fetch status, it will make out. Great. So you can now select everything from that per se right from above. अच्छा पूरा है अपने एक ही इसमें लिखा है ना? You have opened another query window. What? Nothing.
The same one, sir. But we have closed the other one.
Okay, चलो करो पूरा select करके execute करो. Let's see what happens. Yeah, execute. What it
Gave me an
says?
error.
Access denied. Cannot open backup. Just a second. हाँ तो इसमें ये करो. ऊपर जो पाथ दिया है ना अपने बैकअप उसको बैकस्लैश करो. उसके आगे और एक बैकस्लैश दो. उधर नहीं
नहीं sorry.
लास्ट में लास्ट
ये
में
right?
उधर नहीं
Oh.
लास्ट में
Okay.
और एंड आई थिंक वो सी ड्राइव में आपको अलाउ नहीं कर रहा है. करिए अब फिर से अगेन
ये मेरा कंपनी लैपटॉप है शायद से उसके लिए.
वी कैन मेक अनदर फोल्डर उसमें ले सकते हैं ऐसे कोई नहीं.
Okay, हो गया.
जाओ नीचे जाइए. Now go to that C drive backup folder. You will see all the backups which will be lined up there. दिख रहे हैं ना
Yes,
सब
sir.
backups हो गए. So just imagine that you have a production server with hundreds of DBs like that. So if you write a cursor like this, it will be easy, no? It will do all the job.
So same thing will happen for any other queries also. Will it go
Yeah.
into the same backup file?
It is just an example मैंने आपको दिया है कि बैकअप लेने के लिए हमने कर्सर लिखा. लेकिन मैंने कहा ना आपको कर्सर कैन बी रिटर्न फॉर जैसे इंसिडेंट टेबल है उसके लिए हम लिख सकते हैं कि we want to do something.
Because I've seen in my company what we used to do is we used to generate a file from an application. One would be a production file and one would be a backup file. So I was just curious कि वही ऐसा यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है क्या? कि एक back क्या can we use cursor to create a production file also in a different format?
या कुछ भी कर सकते हैं
Like this जैसे हमने
इसमें
यहाँ पे
बेसिक
लिखा है
पर्पस क्या हो
.bak
रहा है. इसमें बेसिक पर्पस क्या हो रहा है. आपने क्वेरी आउटपुट कैप्चर किया फिर उसको प्रोसेस किया ना. We don't know how many databases are there. We don't know what names are there, right? तो हमने क्वेरी फायर की उसको कैप्चर किया देन लूप यूज करके एक एक नाम लेके उसको बैकअप लिया. राइट
सर.
So that is the main purpose of cursor कि जहां पर भी you want to process the query output अपने क्वेरी फायर करो उसका आउटपुट कैप्चर करो फिर उसका एक एक करके प्रोसेस करो जो भी करना है आपको.
Okay.
जैसे इफ यू वांट टू गो थ्रू द इंसिडेंट्स एंड सी कि कौन से इंसिडेंट्स बहुत दिन से क्लोज नहीं हुए तो वो सब प्रोसेस करेगा और उसको अलर्ट्स भेजेगा लोगों को कि अरे ये क्लोज नहीं हुआ ये वो नहीं हुआ ऐसा नहीं हुआ वैसा नहीं हुआ. ठीक है ना. यू मे हैव thousands of incidents like that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
That is a application. So programmers के लिए paradise है ये cursor. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Good. So all programming topics we have finished now. So next week I'll be taking data types, more data types than XML. वो होता है तो पूरा हो जाता है फिर थोड़ा बहुत क्लाउड का देखेंगे कि what are the different options available in cloud and all that thing that I want to take.
Yes sir. And sir, कोई estimate है अपना कि अपना कितना syllabus और बचा है मतलब cloud का and SQL का?
SQL का तो खत्म हो गया अभी, वो नेक्स्ट वीक में एक
Okay.
क्लास में खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर क्लाउड का फिर हम थोड़े दिन लेंगे। और
Okay.
तो आई वांट टू गिव इंट्रोडक्शन टू क्लाउड आल्सो ना, हमने कहा था, बट सी पीपल आर
हाँ.
just let me just stop the recording now. I'm just